This podcast is brought to you by Covenant Eyes. The internet can be a dangerous place for unguarded eyes and hearts. Covenant Eyes provides the services that protect against the evils and temptations that can be found on the World Wide Web. Visit wadoradio.com/resources for more information about our affiliate, Covenant Eyes.
I've seen guys wrestle with that and fight to where, constantly fighting to lower themselves and fighting to humble themselves and wrestling with okay, for some reason my platform has grown exponentially. Now I have to wrestle within my heart to make sure that I'm staying on mission and staying focused. And the worst thing that could happen is to lose that focus.
Everybody lends an ear. I want to thank you in advance for letting us make it clear to y'all.
Of course, DJ Wado, the Wado Radio Show. It's more than music, it's ministry. WadoRadio.com. Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, it's at Wado Radio. And we got on the line with this man, Derek Minor. I guess I got to say formerly of Reach Records now, but definitely with RMG. It sounds crazy to say that, man. I'll just be honest with you, dog.
Well, yeah, man. It sounds kind of crazy to hear that too, bro. It's been some good years at Reach, and those guys have done a great job at branding, helping me brand my situation, and also branding themselves. So it's been a good thing, man. It's kind of bittersweet. It's good to own your own stuff and move forward, but then at the same time, there's a lot of history there. So it's really bittersweet. Like, that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, let me. I think, man, for the particularly for the newer fans who maybe they found out about you once you got to Reach, or they just knew the Christian hip hop. They may not even understand all the history that you have with Lecrae and the Reach fam, and they just thinking, oh man, Derek Minor's leaving Reach, and it's thinking it just from a music perspective, but y'all got some real history, some real stuff that has impacted your life, man.
Yeah, man. For me, it started back around, I guess, 2010 when it was, man. I
was going to say before that, bro.
Yeah, 2009, I was doing my own thing. And, it was really cool. I think I had a great buzz. I've always been building my own platform.
Yep.
Just so as I was building that, and, man, the Lord saw fit to move me to Memphis. And that's where I first got in contact with, Reach Records and Lecrae, really primarily my buddy BJ, who to this day is still a huge influence in my life, So,
yep.
But those guys really, long story short, just took me under their wing and really kind of helped me better understand how to steward my platform. And, put out the Redemption album. Lecrae hopped on that mug. And, did the Unashamed Tour 2010. Wrote the theme song for 116, seems like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's been, 3 tours later and all types of different albums, Billboard charts, all those different things and ministries and all that, So it's been, it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time in the making.
Yeah, was this always the plan to maybe to do the 2 records and then go back and really focus on RMG?
Yeah, for me, when I put out Redemption, which I recorded in my closet in Memphis.
Yep.
And it did well, and Lecrae showed a ton of love on that, and took me on the road. He took me on my first tour. So when I first put that out. And at the end of the tour, I remember Lecrae and Ben coming to me like, yo, I want to do the same thing for you that Cross Movement did for me. And with me not really having a huge understanding of that, because I didn't grow up listening to Cross Movement and stuff. So I didn't really know what that meant, but it was cool because, he kind of explained it to me, and he was like, man, I just want to help give you kind of a little lift going into the, to build your own situation, and he was like, man, I remember him saying I want to help you build something so that there's multiple situations like what we got going on here. He's always, and anybody that's listened to Lecrae's music long enough has known his big thing has always been discipleship and replicating. Replicating, what I'm saying, what God has done in his life and others' lives. So that's always been the plan from the jump street. That's why the album, like if you look at most people's contracts, most people don't sign 2 album deals.
Right.
Like that's a rare thing.
Yep.
But I signed a 2 album deal, and it allowed me to be able to get out of my contract in time to still have some energy to put into my own thing. So yeah, it's been a plan from the beginning, but it's still one of them things where you just like, do I need to do it? I've been here so long. People know me as Reach. Reach brand is going to the next level. Like guys are in magazines and all of that stuff, and I got so many type of opportunities that open itself just by having that Reach brand. It's one of them things where it's like, well, should I really do this, or should I try to fight to have do 4 more albums with Reach and just kind of have my attention split? But after talking with Ben and Lecrae, and after thinking through it, I think it's just best in the long run just to really focus on what I'm doing and give my guys the full attention that they need.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the things that was interesting for me was when I was reading the press release. That was probably the best crafted press release I've ever seen for a situation like this where an artist was leaving a label. Like it really felt like a mutual, amicable situation.
Yeah. I mean, the sad part is that that's true. There's not. that's the sad part about it. Is I wish that it was like that more often, where we all find ways to do things amicably, and like it's not all peaches and cream. Like any transition is always gonna be hard, and there's always gonna be like rough spots, and there's always gonna be different types of things that pop up in the road. But at the end of the day, man, like I look at this as an opportunity to do 2 things. One, look at it as an opportunity to show how to godly exit a situation, how to do that the right way, because there's a right and a wrong way to do things, man.
Yeah.
And, if we say this is what it's about, being unashamed of the gospel, then the movement is the most important thing. It's not necessarily about me getting the best I can get out of whatever situation, or us trying to leverage whatever. Like it's really literally about being unashamed of the gospel and pushing that perspective in everything that we do, whether that's business deals, ministries, whatever. Like how we enter a situation, we should enter it unashamed, and how we leave a situation, we should leave it unashamed. So that's pretty much that there. And then the second thing is, man, my desire has always been to build something, and I want to build an opportunity. I want to help expand the kingdom of God. Like that's really my goal, is to, when people see Reach Records, they look at Reach Records and think it's an anomaly. Like, oh my God, like, man, like that's the only situation that can be built to where it's impactful. Like, and I have a belief that if God can use Lecrae, he can use Deraj. If God can use Reach Records, he can use RMG, he can use Collision, he can use Humble Beast, he can use Full Ride. Like, I feel like if there's like 5 Billboard charting Christians in the hip hop context, I feel like that's better than just one at a time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That's good.
So.
That's really good, bro. What would you say are some of the things that you learned from Reach that now that you're going to be focused more on the RMG situation, that you can bring back and say, you know what, fellas, like maybe we need to look at this differently, or maybe we need to do things more like this?
Yeah, I think the one of the bigger things that I've learned as I've been at Reach is that you have to stay focused on what the mission is at hand. Like many times I think people, we have good intentions, and it'd be like, yo, let's let's fight to, just music business. Let's just take music business in general. Like, it's really easy for you to lose focus about what the goal is, to, be unashamed and to be like, man, let's make this money. Like, we out here getting it. Let's get paid now. Let's make this money. And I've seen guys wrestle with that and fight to where, constantly fighting to lower themselves and fighting to humble themselves and wrestling with, like, okay, like, for some reason my platform has grown exponentially. Now I have to wrestle within my heart to make sure that I'm staying on mission and staying focused. And the worst thing that could happen is to lose that focus. So, like, now, my main thing is even, just checking up on everybody and making sure that, we're spiritually intact, and making sure that dudes aren't out here writing rap songs and traveling the globe rapping and not plugged into their local church. That's the cool thing. You look at Reach, every last person on the Reach roster that's rapping is plugged into a local church that has community. Like, they're not just like, oh man, well, I got Christians that rap as my community. Like, no, they have actual, like, real pastors.
Yeah, that's good.
And I mean, you need to have somebody in your life that's not impressed with your talent.
Yep.
And that doesn't really care, because that way you can't escape into celebrity, superstar, psycho world. So,
good, bro.
Like, just, I think learning that, I think the importance of branding and the importance of quality. Like, you can say whatever you want to say about Reach, but no one can say that they don't strive to push the boundaries and creativity and quality and honor God in that way.
Yeah.
So, I've definitely learned that, man. I've learned that, man, this is one of those places, like, just watching Lecrae. This is what I know this guy. Like, I've spent so much time with Lecrae and just watching how, the media and how Twitter and social media and all that stuff, like, can twist how people feel about you. And it's funny because I'm like, I've watched this guy say, you know what? He says this every night on the Winter Jam tour. He's like, if you live for people's approval, you'll die from their rejection. You know what I'm saying? And it's like watching a guy wrestle with that and wrestle with finding his worth and his value, not in his platform, not in selling records, not in trying to be the next whoop-de-whoop, but literally trying to fight every day for his happiness to be in Jesus. And that's, that's at the end of the day, that's what we all need to be striving for, whether our platform grows or whether our platform shrinks. If it's over for me tomorrow and nobody ever wants to hear a Derek Minor record, I have to be totally okay with that, because I got to know that whether the world accepts me or not, I'm accepted in Jesus.
That's good.
Like, that's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's important, man. So speaking of the next Derek Minor record, when we getting another Derek Minor record, man?
You will have something new this year.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have something new this year. After I get off of Winter Jam, I'm going to go on a small little hiatus just to get my thoughts together, and then I'm finna hit the studio with Reckless Abandonment. Yes, I'm about to hit this mug with Reckless Abandonment. Like, it's gonna be real in the field. So this year, I got new music coming out, and like, we pushing it as hard as we could push it. So
yeah. You think this would be like a maybe another PSA or EP or maybe a full-fledged album? Or
right now we bouncing between what we want to do. It won't be a mixtape, I can tell you that for sure.
Sure.
It won't be a mixtape. I know it'll be some original work. In what format, I'm not exactly sure right now.
Yeah.
We're just gonna let that sort of develop itself. But I think I got an excellent idea. But I don't want to let the cat out the bag too soon. But I think I got something that's God breathed. The Lord really laid a concept on my heart, and you guys will know more about it as time unfolds.
How would you describe the RMG brand right now? Because I remember when you guys did the Welcome to the Family album, you know, it was definitely the family vibe, and I knew that was authentic just because of the relationships you guys had even prior to the RMG situation, you know, kind of
Right.
taking fruit. And it's like now, you know, you add a B Cooper, you know, you add Deraj to the situation, you know what I'm saying? And it's like now you're back full time with the label. So what does that whole situation look like going forward?
I mean, it's still family, man. Like a lot of people don't know. Like, you know, I got some people that was like, oh man, they signed B Cooper. They got their white boy now. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the funny thing is, people don't know, man. I've been knowing Brad since I was 16 years old.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been knowing this dude for that long, since I was in high school. And like, we always, you know, and another thing that's even funnier is that was my first like rap group. Like, me and him were in a rap group together. You know what I'm saying? And we put out records. I remember that we used to record on this 8-track recorder at my church. Like, and then we started buying studio time and doing all types of stuff. And then, and that's funny too, because Dirty Rice used to produce for Brad, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
Wow.
It just like people don't realize, like,
Full
the
circle.
relationship I got with Dirty, like, I've been having that relationship with at least 10 years plus. You know what I'm saying? Like, Brad, that goes back to high school. Like, so like, far as building with that, like, it's still business as usual. Like, we're not straying from that. And then Deraj, you know, Deraj did the graphics for Welcome to the Family for next to nothing. Like, you know, he just was like, man, you know, I believe in what y'all doing. We built a great working relationship. And then all of a sudden, Doc is like, yo, so you know our graphic designer can rap. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, right. So, you know what I'm saying? He sent some stuff. I'm like, yo, this is super fresh. And he's very passionate about, you know, putting out quality stuff. So, you know, I think the brand of RMG, you know, for me, what I want, the envelope that I want to push, man, is I want people to see us, and I want people to see a reflection of how people, like a reflection of how the church, or a reflection of how Christians should look in art.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want you to see. Like, we're not gonna be perfect, you know, we're not gonna be the poster children of success. You know what I'm saying? At least, I mean, if we are, hallelujah to Jesus. But, you know, like, not to say that the Lord, like, when I say poster children of success, I'm saying, like, you know, I don't know what that means. Like, people's bar for success is like sell 1 million albums, you know, get 1 million views on YouTube. Like, I don't know if I necessarily view that per se as success. Like, success to me is being able to take care of my family and being able to reflect who Jesus is all the time. And it's like, we'll make mistakes in that. Like, we're not gonna always make all of the right decisions, but I tell you what, we will fight to do that at every step of the way. So that's the main thing for us is, man, I just want to push the envelope in art. I want our art to be cold. Like, I want people to say, like, yo, these dudes are changing the game with their music, their graphics, their videos. Like, I want to find other avenues that Christians haven't explored as far as entertainment's involved. You know, and I want everybody on our brand, everybody in the Reflection Music Group brand, I want them to have their own brand. Like, I want Cannon to be who he is fully, not to feel like he has to fit some mold so he can fit in. Like, you know, if Cannon is the anthem guy, let him be the anthem guy. And if Brad is the soul sample rapping dude, like, that's what he do, let him do it. Like, I want guys to be able to explore and not feel like they have to try to be part of the RMG brand. The RMG brand is driven by the artist. So, you know, I want you to like the artist for who they are, not necessarily just because they're signed to RMG.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you feel like you had to fit in a bit with Reach? Because I remember for me, just obviously having worked with you before that as a friend, that was one of my concerns about you when you went into the whole situation. I was like, well, man, you kind of, you know, your brand and your style is a little bit different than what Reach was known for at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? Was that a challenge, or was that never really, you know, a pressure for you, man?
Well, no, it's like, man, don't get it twisted. Anybody that's in this music industry will tell you like you got to try to find out who you are.
Yep.
Like, and that's what it is. So like for me with Reach, I never felt like nobody at Reach told me like, hey, if you need to be this type of artist, like you better be this type of person. Now I'm not gonna lie, when I put out Minorville, everybody at the office was scared. Because they was like, yo, this not a typical Reach record. Like everybody was nervous and scared, but to this day, a lot of people are like, man, that's one of my favorite Reach albums. So like the gamble paid off. But at the end of the day, like I just for a while, like you got to remember, man, like I hadn't been like when I put out the Blackout, that was my first Christian rap album.
Yeah. Yep.
Like period. Like, and I didn't grow up in the culture of Christian rap. Like I didn't have like I didn't know about cross movement, and every time somebody would be like, man, I used to call it WWRD, what would Reach do? Like every time somebody would hit me, every time I see a comment like, man, Lecrae wouldn't do that, or Ambassador or Flame wouldn't do that, I'm like, who are these dudes? I have no clue who they are. Like, why are you holding me to this standard? Like, so I'm like, I didn't know that. And then the church I was going to, like, they didn't know what to do with my giftings. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't. They just was just a normal church. They just like, man, we don't know what this looks like. So when I meet some guys that's doing that, now I gotta figure out my way within this world. Like, I gotta figure out, I gotta go back and research cross movement and research, what are people saying about that, and I'm trying to think like, okay, where do I fit in this? Like, where do I fit? Because I know what I'm passionate about, and I know what God called me to do. So where do I fit in this situation? Yeah. So a lot of that, it wasn't necessarily like, oh man, I got pressure, I need to be this, but it's just, man, I gotta find out who I am in this situation. And I think when I got to Minorville, it's like, okay, I got a good idea of the type of person that I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as artist, the type of artist that I want to be.
Man, what you just said was maybe one of the most honest things someone's ever said on this show, bro.
Wow.
Real talk, man. That was some real talk, brother. What do you think are like some of the biggest challenges that you face going forward with RMG and building this thing? Because obviously you've seen a very well-oiled machine in Reach Records, and not just from a business standpoint, but even from a ministry standpoint and, all of that stuff. So what are, now looking at, as you assess the label and where you guys are going and, the roster that you have assembled, what are some of your biggest challenges, man?
Well, I'm going to keep it 150. Like, that's the only way I know how to do is keep it 150. But I think some of the biggest challenges, just for us as a label is, there's a lot of people that I've experienced and I've talked to that's like, oh man, Derek Minor isn't on Reach anymore. I guess that's it for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the perception that Reach is the only label that can put out quality work, which is kind of crazy because you look around and you see, and that's not something that Reach has built. That's just something that people have grown to love and know. Like, it's a trusted brand. So, but you look around, you see, I mean, what my man's Christian Gray just dropped School of Roses. Everybody talking about how brilliant that is, and you got Humble Beast, my man's Propaganda out here killing it, doing work. So, you got guys out here. I mean, Deraj just put out an amazing EP. So I think the goal for us, for me is now I can't float off of a brand that's already been established. Like for me, when I put out an album, I know I instantly walk into a situation where it's like everybody's like, well, Reach, we've been following Reach for 10 years and the quality is awesome. So now I have to establish that I have the ability to put out awesome quality.
Yep.
And that you can trust my brand as well. But I think we've done that. If you look at Cannon's Mad Haven project, you look at B. Cooper's Spare Change, you look at Deraj's Mirrors and Medicine record, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you look at the Tillman EP from Tony Tillman, you know what I'm saying? You look at all this stuff, like, I think we've established that to a degree, and we're gonna continue building on that. We got a great foundation. So that's number one. It's it's a lot of people that's just like, man, if it ain't Reach, I ain't listening. And it's just like people like, if I don't drink Coca-Cola, if it ain't Coca-Cola, I don't want to drink it.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like I'm not cool with that. Like I'm not trying to snipe any Reach fans, or I'm not like, Reach has this lane in this world. I'm trying to build my own lane in my own little world. So, I'm cool with that. Like that doesn't bother me. But I just know that the biggest challenge is I have to carve out my own lane for the label. I think we've built a good foundation for that. So the goal is just to continue carving out that lane for our artists and carving out that lane for our label. That's the biggest challenge. The next challenge for me, I think, would be just figuring out like how in the world can I get all of these, like I told you what my goal is to let everybody have their own brands and their own things. So how can I best, push these guys to be the best artists that they can be? Like that's one of the things that I challenge myself with, is like, man, I want Deraj to be the best Deraj he can be. I don't want to look out and say, oh man, we got to find you. We need you to be the next so and so. I don't want to be like, oh well, Andy Mineo's white. We got B Cooper. Let's make another Andy Mineo. like that's the weakest thing on earth. So it's like I want these guys to be the best artists they can be, and you know what? They are. Like I have amazing talent signed to my label. Like I have an awesome roster that I'm thoroughly excited to work with. And then I think the third thing is resources, bro. Like, I say this all the time. Like when people ask me about our industry, like as far as and I hope no one takes this the wrong way, but like there's not really a home for Christian hip hop. Like it hasn't been built and established as far as if we saying rapper that's a Christian rapper, whatever. There's no radio stations that play Christian. You know what I'm saying? Like there's, or I'm not gonna say there's no, but I'm gonna say there's very few.
There's one FM station in Orlando, Florida. That's it.
Right, and then you got Engine Radio too. Shout out to Engine who they play some stuff. But primarily there's no stations that's like, your music fits our format.
Right. There's no
Grammy for best Christian hip hop artists. Like they just throw us in the gospel category, which, like it's gospel, but it's not like it's gospel as far as content, like, but it's not gospel as far as format.
Right.
Like there's no like in the hip hop, and like there's not an industry like we're not, like, as much as Lecrae has fought to get into the mainstream hip hop section, which I'd love to be able to look and you see 2 Chainz, Drake, and Derek Minor next to each other being nominated for Grammys.
Sure.
Like that's the thing that I would love to see happen. But the reality of it is that there's not really a home. There's not really a place where it's like, okay, yeah, we're in the hip hop world. We're not necessarily really in the hip hop world. Like we're not really in the gospel world. We're not really in the CCM world. And we got our own world itself, but it's like so underdeveloped. So like there's no like resources. There's not a lot of resources as far as, hey, I need booking agents. We need managers. We need venues and promoters to help promote tours and stuff like that. So that's one of the challenges is like, and for the people that are good at doing that stuff, a lot of them, if we're just going to keep it 100, like, they're either at Reach or they're fighting to get at Reach.
Right.
Like, hey, I'm not pulling no punches. I'm gonna be 100 with you. So now the challenge is, how can I create a situation that's not at Reach, but then also build my own situation? So if that means I got to train up some cats, or if that means that, we gotta be creative in what that looks like. And the thing that I take comfort in is, 10 years ago, Reach didn't have those resources that they have now.
There you go.
So, you just gotta be patient you know, if like I'm a firm believer that if God can do it for Reach Records, He can do it for RMG.
Yep.
He can do it for Collision. He can do it for Humble Beast and
Yep.
anybody else out there that's aspiring and that has the talent. He can do it for y'all too. Like man, God is a, you know, God is, you know, he doesn't just have a special, like there's the Reach Records blessing like that. Okay, there you go, the Reach Records blessing, and then it doesn't work anymore.
I love it. I love it. I gotta ask you about my man Chad Jones, man. We gonna get a Jones project soon, man.
Oh, you gonna get a Jones project really soon. Like that, he just sent me that. We're in the middle of working on something. You know, he been putting out the keep up, you know, remixes and situations. So, but yo, we now we gotta. He got a like, he slick got a little monster, no lie though. Like he got like that boy got some fire, dog. Like I'm excited, man. He's been growing exponentially as an artist, and I'm super excited. I can't say a whole lot because I don't know what's part of the plan, but all I'm gonna say is keep up, fool. Like when that mug hit, it's gonna be super strong. But you know he's in the lab and you know he's staying working. You know, so I'm super excited about that.
Another person I know has been doing some work with you guys is Tony Stone, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just I mean T Stone is like, it seems like when Christian hip hop started, man, Tony Stone was there at the beginning, man.
He like the Godfather.
The Godfather.
Like,
that's a good way to put it, bro.
That's DJ Premier, bro.
Yeah, that's it. He is definitely our DJ Premier, man. What has his involvement, man, kind of meant for the label, bro?
Man, well, I mean, early on, especially, like Tony was like, that mug was like, he did everything.
Yeah.
Like when I was building the studio, we used to call it Tony rigging. Like we'd be like, man, Tony, we got $5, we got some Scotch tape, and we got a mic, and we got a microphone cable. Like, how are we gonna get this record done? He's like, oh man, well watch this. And, you know, dude's a genius. You know, when he was 18, he built a robot. So it's like that mug would just come into like, man, we just have nothing. We have nothing, and that mug would just be like, all right, well here goes some lint in the corner or whatever, and here go a stocking cap. We gonna make some foam to put in the studio to isolate the booth. Like he's just like he's like MacGyver. So we call it Tony rigging. But you know, early on, man, he was definitely, man, instrumental in just helping us in that area. And then for me, man, you know, just he's a brother. Like Tony Stone is my brother. Like this dude, like man, we've had some excellent talks, and that dude has really walked me through some dark areas in my life. Like I remember when I tore my Achilles and I had to write my verse for Lecrae's album. He brought the studio to the house, man.
Wow.
Set it up for me, and you know I'm sitting up here drugged up with my leg up, and he's helping me walk through, you know what I'm saying, that situation. So man, that dude is like a brother. But you know, as right now, he's you know, they got Hampton Roads Fellowship in VA. You know, so that's where all of his effort is now, man. So like I'm proud of him and my boy Miguel. Like them guys are I got a chance to visit their church, man, and it's just beautiful, man. Just all different races in there, solid theology, you know, man, people just loving on one another. Like you could just feel the love. Like the day we went, a guy was like, man, I'm about to be deployed off into some sort of like I think they had to do some kind of leadership training. He's like, but you know what? For the first time in my life, I'm not scared for my family because I know y'all gonna take care of them.
Wow,
dog, that's a church.
That right like, there, man.
Right, exactly. Man. Yeah, man. So I was getting chills just recounting that moment because that's what the body is about. Like that's what a church is about. So they're building a church, man, down there that's like game changing. Like it's game changing situation. So so man, my prayers with that dude, and that dude hits me up randomly and texts me some encouraging stuff and always checking on me and vice versa. So yeah, that's my brother, man.
That's good, man. Yo, well, Minor, man, I just gotta say this, bro. Like, I'm super proud of you to just see you at this point in your career and in your life, man. a lot of people wouldn't have the guts to do what you're doing. They would just stay where it's comfortable and where it's safe and where, you know, they think they can control the outcome a little bit more, you know. And man, I'm encouraged by you just following, you know, what God's put on your heart and really seeing the vision through, man. You know, you and Doc had this vision. I remember even when y'all came together for that, you know what I'm saying? And for you to kind of come back, man, and be doing this, bro, is it's encouraging and inspiring, man. And you know, man, people should be happy for you, bro, because I am, man.
Man, I appreciate that, man. And from day one, bruh. Day one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You mess with me tough. You know what I'm saying? And for me, the goal and the fight is just to, man, I just want to build the kingdom of God, bro. Like all this industry stuff and like all types of stuff like that, man, to be real, I could care less about that.
Yeah.
Twitter followers, all of that. Like every time I mess around and get caught up in trying to compare myself to the next person, and this is me being 100. Like anytime, like, cause I'm a human, so anytime, like I'm like get caught up in trying to compare myself to the next person and just trying to gain more ground and build my own kingdom on earth, like God reminds me, like that's pointless. Like I was watching a Ray Vanderlyn DVD. It was me and Lecrae and Nate. We were on a bus, and Ray Vanderlyn goes through Israel, the Middle East, and he puts context for the Bible in a way that I've never seen it done, because he talks about a lot about the history. And I'm looking, and he talks about how this one temple was so big and it was so huge, and people would come from all over to worship Artemis, the god of fertility.
Yep.
And then I looked and I said something just struck me. I looked and I saw a whole bunch of rocks. And I said, like 2,000 years later, like that thing is the ugliest piece. It's just a rock. It's just a bunch of rocks and broken down artifacts that aren't pretty anymore. I said, the reality of it is, like, that temple was like Hollywood. It's like LA. It's like New York. It's like Miami. Like, man, 2,000 years from now, they're not gonna care anything about Miami, LA, New York. There's gonna be another kingdom that's built. There's gonna be another, 100 years from now, nobody will care anything about rap. Like 20 years from now, I'm gonna be old and crusty. I'm gonna be watching my son play basketball, Lord willing. You know what I'm saying? And his school, or going to PTO meetings and taking care of my kids. And only thing that will matter is how many people that I impacted for the kingdom in this time while I'm rapping.
Yeah.
Like, that's all that matters. Billboard, like, who was the number one top selling rap artist 5 years ago on Billboard each month? You tell me.
I don't know, bro.
You don't remember?
You don't remember.
What was the hot 5 years ago? What was the hottest single that was out? Like, you can't remember. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't matter. But I tell you what you do remember. You remember that moment you got saved.
Yep.
You remember the moment somebody came to you when you were hurting and you were broken and you needed somebody to console you. I bet you remember that. You remember when you were in a dark place and you put on a record and you said, "Dag, man, I remember how this record affected me." Like, that's the only thing that matter, Wade.
Yeah.
Like, Billboard, iTunes charts, Twitter followers, Facebook followers, Snapchats, whatever, all that stuff. Remember when MySpace was popping?
Yo. The Wado Radio Show launched on MySpace, bro. I keep my page just as a reminder of that. And now nobody goes on that joint.
Nobody goes there. So remember when dudes put their whole life in trying to build their MySpace page
followers
up?
Yeah.
Dog, they want to get their MySpace followers up. They want to get hits on. They was cheating and getting robots to build hits on their
songs,
on their music players and stuff. Right. And it's like you spend years and years building that thing up, and now no one cares about it.
Right.
Dog. And that's my heart. Like, period.
That's good.
At the end of the day, that's my heart, bro.
That's good, man. Derek Minor, DJ Wado, man. Yo, give him your I almost feel bad telling you to give them your Twitter and Facebook and all of that.
I just went hard on it. Yeah. Man, you can always get me at derekminer.com or rmgonline.co. So rmgonline.co, derekminer.com. Twitter is the Derek Miner, Facebook the Derek Miner, Instagram the Derek Miner, whatever. If you need to find me, it's gonna be the Derek Miner.
That's what it is, man. The Derek Miner, and I'm the DJ Wade O. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man.
Everybody lends an ear. I wanna thank you in advance for letting us make it clear to y'all on the Wade O Radio Show.
Thanks for tuning in to another Wade O Radio full interview. This was made possible in part by our affiliate, Covenant Eyes. The internet can be a dangerous place for unguarded eyes and hearts. Covenant Eyes provides the services that protect against the evils and temptations that can be found on the World Wide Web. Established over a decade ago, Covenant Eyes is the pioneer in internet accountability software, empowering its members to maintain their online integrity. I personally use them on every device that I have: computer, iPhone, iPad, whole 9 yards. Don't go another day without guarding your eyes, your mind, and your heart. Visit wadeoradio.com/resources for more information about Covenant Eyes. And if you sign up via our affiliate link at wadeoradio.com/resources, we'll give you a month free. Covenant Eyes, trusted by thousands of families, including mine.